I think since I've been here, there's probably been over 10 managers linked with the job over the 3 years I've been here. So you take that as part and parcel of the game. Obviously the second point, I have regular contact with the owners, and as I said, the relationship has always been strong. And in all fairness, whatever happens here, whether I'm here for 1 day more, 1 month, another year, or whatever, I'll always have a huge respect for the owners here and the people that I work closely with here. That I don't worry about myself. Like I said, I hope to be a football manager for another 20 odd years, and I respect that probably that 20 years won't be here at Liverpool.
Steve McClaren is another man under pressure, but the Newcastle head coach insists the club is going through a period of change.
Well, McClaren's side are yet to win in the Premier League this season with 4 defeats from 6 games. They were knocked out of the League Cup by Championship club Sheffield Wednesday.
We're going through change, and change is painful, and change is tough, it's hard. And some people, they don't like change, it takes them out of the comfort zone. And, you know, why is this club wanting change? Because since 22nd of November, a year ago, this club and this team has won 5 games in 32. And on the last day of the season, won a game to stay up. So everybody's been clamouring for change, and that's what we bring. That's why I'm here. And change, as we say, is painful. It's been less than 3 months. We're changing a lot. We're changing philosophy. We're changing culture. We're changing standards. We're changing training. And some people, some people adapt quickly, some don't. But it's necessary change.
Well, the thing is, things don't get any easier for McClaren's Newcastle. After Chelsea tomorrow, they face a trip to Manchester City. And then it's a home game with Norwich before a huge derby with Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. And that's followed by Stoke at home and then Bournemouth away. Well, you can see Newcastle's next game. It's against Chelsea and it's tomorrow night. It's live. Sky Sports 1 from 5.
Sunderland head coach Dick Advocaat believes his side are at a disadvantage because they were unable to bring in new players early in the transfer window. Sunderland, who are without a win all season, face a trip to Manchester United tomorrow.
I still think, with our experience, that if you bring in new players and we cut them in rather late, that needs time. Needs time to get used to the Premier League, get used with the players. Players who are normally regulars, they're going out, some players are coming in. That needs time. If 4-3-3 the right system, and that's what we have to find out rather soon, because you're right, I like to have the points as well.
I suppose, is that the point that getting players in early on in the transfer window is important for making that good start?
Yeah, no, that's the advantage the bigger club has. And the bigger club with the money, they know already what they want. Do we want 1 player, 2 players? Doesn't matter what it costs. But we work totally differently than the clubs with money.
Well as Dick Advocaat and the rest, plenty more coming from plenty of other managers tonight. Pochettino, Pellegrini and Roberto Martinez as we continue our build-up to a huge weekend of games.
It is all about the
football.
Oh, yeah! What a turn-up! They don't care about me. It's extraordinary.
Well, they're going absolutely wild here.
Enjoy another great weekend of Premier League football. Live, only on Sky Sports.
They're well and truly up for this. Hard, it's ruthless. This is what the Elite League is all about.
Big breaking news this evening as Swiss prosecutors formally open a criminal investigation into Sepp Blatter, the head of world football's governing body FIFA.
And Jose Mourinho reignites his long-running feud with Arsene Wenger by claiming his counterpart is the only manager who isn't under any pressure in English football.
Now, Henrik Stenson is the overnight leader at the Tour Championship after a first round 63. David Livingston joins us now live from the Eastlake Golf Course in Atlanta, where the weather, David, looks pretty miserable.
Oh, Natalie, it may be Friday at the Tour Championship, as Nick Doherty well knows here, but it feels like a wet Wednesday in the west of Scotland. But the golf is going to be terrific. We know that because of the kind of players you've just mentioned on the leaderboard. Nick, the Europeans have stolen the thunder of the big three coming into it this week, and the big story was Henrik Stenson. He's known over here as the September man because of what he did 2 years ago, winning this whole thing after a whole series of near misses in the summer. Some similarities here. What would it tell us about Stenson if he can do that again?
Well, I think it shows how big a heart he's got, shows how persistent he is as well. I mean, he's got a big golf game. It's no surprise that he's doing what he's doing here. The bit that will really bode well for him is the fact that he's done it before. He's won here as well. He won the Tour Championship. He won the FedEx Cup because of it. He's got another chance to do it here. He's in fantastic form. Obviously, second place, 10th place in the 3 playoff events prior to this one. So his game's in great shape. He knows he can do it. And, you know, hasn't won this year. There'd be a lot of people think that's a bit weird that he could win this and perhaps win the FedEx Cup when you're going up against someone like Jason Day, who's won 5 times and might not win it if he does go ahead, Stenson here, and claim the victory. But he's been so persistent, hasn't he?
And the significance, yes, of that and Rory McIlroy being there, because Rory, even before his injury in the summer, early in the year in the big events, his main concern was a slow start to tournaments. It looks as if he's sorted that one out here. That 66, is it going to be enough for him to win it?
Yeah, I think he's in good form at the moment. I think it's unfair for us to look at him as falling outside of those top players. I mean, he was injured, unfortunately, at a horrible time. Meant he couldn't defend the Open Championship at St Andrews, which he would have had a great chance at winning. Couldn't play Bridgestone to defend that one as well. I think Rory still had a good year. It hasn't quite been the year he wanted, but I think he's coming into some better form. The putter has let him down so far this season. He's ranked 145th in strokes gained putting. But he started to look a lot better yesterday. The iron play was as imperious as ever, and he'll be desperate to make a point that he's still around.
Let's have a look at the draw then for today's second round, because you'll see the quality of the players around, some of them that we've been talking about endlessly in the last few weeks. Jason Day, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth. But then there's Rory McIlroy. And playing with Henrik Stenson, one name that we should mention, Paul Casey. If it was redemption for Stenson 2 years ago to win this, what would it be for Paul Casey after where he's been?
Oh, it would be an incredible achievement for him. Both men have been down the bottom of the barrel at times in their careers. Paul really battled with his game. He came back to Europe, the European Tour, gracefully, gave him the opportunity to build his game back up. He won the Irish Open. He's since come back here and he's made himself a real home again. He loves playing out in the States. He's played great this year. He's come close to winning again. 2 playoff losses so far this season. Wouldn't this be a wonderful event for him to go and break that duck and get back inside the winner's circle?
Well, that's a flavour of it. Forget the weather. It's really going to be brightening up here in all kinds of ways when you join us for live coverage at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 4.
David and Nick, thank you very much. OK, let's bring you a little bit more on that breaking news that you can see at the bottom of your screen with regards to the young Manchester United striker James Wilson. He has signed a new contract at Old Trafford, keeping him at the club until 2019. They also have an option of a further year extension as well. It was sort of suggested that he might be looking to leave Manchester United on loan sort of around this sort of time to gain more experience. But Louis van Gaal in his news conference a little bit earlier on had said that that's not going to happen. And if he is going to go out on loan, it won't be until December at the earliest. That's due to the number of matches that Manchester United have coming up to Christmas. But James Wilson certainly is delighted to have signed a new contract. He says he's looking forward, I should say, to playing a part in the team for many years to come. And Van Gaal himself has said he is one of England's brightest prospects. It's clear to see he has a fine future ahead of him. So James Wilson, the young Manchester United striker, has signed a new deal at the club, keeping him there until 2019.
Good, Natalie. And I think one of his teammates, Anthony Martial, has got a bright future. His impressive start to his career in English football has been a touch lucky, though. That's according to his manager at United. The striker scored 4 times in his first 4 games since moving there from Monaco.
That's also a little bit luck, also quality of the player, but also a little bit luck, and also because of his fellow players. and maybe also the moment that he can play, because that's also Liverpool. He started, and Liverpool has to come, and then his qualities are more stronger than when a team has to come. It's the same as Ipswich Town has to come, and then I put him in the in the lineup. So it's also that luck that he has. But of course, the main thing is his quality, because as a player, he has to do it, and he has to cope with the pressure. And what we have seen till now, he can do it. It plays like a team, more than maybe other teams. So I think it is a team effort. I don't speak about individual efforts.
Staying with Martial, and Arsene Wenger claims he was told the France forward was unavailable this summer before he joined Manchester United for a world record fee for a teenager.
Sometimes the start is difficult, but that means to maintain that will be very difficult for him. So you have to have some understanding as well if he starts to score less, because he put already the expectation level at a very high level. But I'm not surprised that he does well, because he's a very talented player.
His agent was suggesting that maybe you consider him a winger rather than a striker, which is perhaps why you didn't sort of pursue the chance to maybe go for him.
He was more a winger, yes, in his whole career. And he played the final part of the season last year as a striker. But Monaco's statement was always that two players will not move, Martial and Kurzawa. And so I thought they will maintain that, but in the end, both of them moved.
So that's Arsene Wenger. Meantime, Mauricio Pochettino accepts that Harry Kane is enduring a tough run of form.
The striker's yet to score for Tottenham this season, but Pochettino has defended his performances.
We need to stop to speak about Harry Kane. We need to let him to do his job. It's very important. I think I am very happy. The most important thing that I am very happy with the effort, in the way that he play, and only, the striker needs to score, but it's only time to, I think the goal is coming. I think that he need to improve. We need to realize why, and for help him to improve his quality and his performance on the game. But this is a tough moment, because he needs to score, because he's a striker. But around him, on the club and on the changing room, we believe in him, and it's not a big issue.
Well, Kane's gone 6 league matches and 515 minutes without scoring this season. He's also failed to provide an assist and has only managed 12 shots at goal. His top speed of 31.8 kilometres per hour is actually down on the 33 kilometres per hour he reached last season. His distance covered and average sprints per match are also down on last season.
Don't worry, Harry, my top speed's gone down a bit as well. Now, Manuel Pellegrini has revealed that Manchester City only had 11 fit players for the League Cup tie against Sunderland this week.
David Silva and Eliakim Mangala are still unavailable this weekend, but Vincent Kompany will return for their game against Tottenham.
That's why I always say that's so important to have an important squad, because you are going to win or you're going to lose the title just for 1 point, 2 points. Normally, it's not more the difference. And in the case that you have these problems, you must have a strong squad.
So Kompany back this weekend?
Kompany is back. It's important for the team. I think that Vincent he's just recovering from his injury. He's the captain, and he started the season very well, not only as a defender, he scored 3 important goals also.
Well, Roberto Martinez hasn't ruled John Stones out of Monday's trip to West Brom. The Everton manager says the England defender has responded very well to treatment since injuring his knee during Tuesday's win over Reading.
We've been pleased with John's reaction to treatment in the last 2 days. I still think that the next 48 hours are going to be very important. I wouldn't say that he's not going to be in the squad. I think it's too early to make a final decision. I think it'll be touch and go for the West Brom game. And Seamus has been reacting really well. He's already working on the grass. So again, it could well be involved in the game on Monday, or maybe in the next game. So both are progressing really well as everyone else that they've been receiving treatment, and the squad should be the same that we had against Reading and Swansea, and the possibility of having John and Seamus in the squad against West Brom.
The Watford head coach Quique Sanchez-Flores has confirmed the club won't be letting Emmanuel Adebayor train with them.
Well, that's right. The striker was released from his Tottenham contract earlier this month, but he can't sign for another club until January.
We admire Adebayor. We know that this is an amazing player, but we have, till 2 weeks ago, we have difficulties to close the squad. Now, at the moment, don't move anything. We respect too much Adebayor. We deserve all the best for the future. You never know what happens in football in the future. Maybe you have the possibility someday to train together. But at this moment, Watford consider that it's not the moment to put new players in the squad.
Well, Tim Sherwood doesn't feel under any pressure despite Villa's poor start to the season.
Villa have only won one league game so far, but Sherwood says he's been guaranteed time to work with the 12 new signings they made this summer.
I think it's the philosophy of the club, how we wanted to go. It's not just Tim Sherwood's choice, it's the choice of the football club, how we wanted to move forward, and then we wanted to bring young players in to develop them into superstars, and that's our aim. But with that becomes a lot of element of risk. You're rolling the dice. We knew that, and everyone's given us the opportunity to be able to do it. That's why you don't see any panic at the moment with 6 games gone in the Premier League. You know, it's been an awful lot of points and an awful lot of time for us to adapt to the Premier League, and that's what we're doing.
Here's a little reminder for you. There are 9 games in the Championship tomorrow. You can see all the goals from those matches on Goals Express at 6 o'clock right here on Sky Sports News HQ. And we'll show you every single goal from the Football League on today's Goals Now. That's from 8 o'clock tomorrow night, also on Sky Sports News HQ.
Well, 3 teams can win this. The League Leaders' Shield will be crossing live to the DW Stadium next as Wigan host Castleford. I love Wigan, me.
Available to buy and keep in Sky Store now.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Mad Max Fury Road, available to buy and keep now.
This is well annoying. I've got sweat on my head and I can't wipe it off.
Yes, I remember when I first learnt to walk. Not easy, is it?
Now, big excitement because Wigan Warriors are one of 3 teams who could claim the League Leaders' Shield tonight. They play Castleford. It's at the DW Stadium. My colleague Peter Stevenson is there for us. Peter, good evening to you.
Yeah, very good evening, Jimmy. It's the Academy Grand Final underway here at the moment. Wigan 12-6 up against St Helens, but of course it's all about what happens with those top 4 teams tonight, with Wigan facing Castleford, wondering what's going to be happening. Huddersfield against Leeds. With me is the Wigan head coach, Sean Wayne. Alex Ferguson, a big fan of yours. Man United is your team. You used to call it squeaky bum time. Does that apply in rugby league tonight?
Yeah, it does beat up. Yeah, it's an exciting time. That the RFL wanted to design the season, so it's very much exciting at the end of the year, and they've got that. You know, everything depends on tonight's games, and it's really exciting for all the spectators.
League Leaders' Shield or a home draw in the semi-final. I mean, there's a lot at stake tonight. What do you want out of tonight?
I want us to win the game. I want us to win it in a good manner. How we perform in certain areas of the field is really important to me, and we showed a lot of good things against St Helens last week. but it's a different challenge today against a really motivated Castleford team. So it's more about the performance and what we do, and I'm not going to worry about anybody else.
Semi-final stage, does it matter if you're home or away?
Well, we're unbeaten here for over 12 months, so it is quite important to us, but if we need to go away, we'll just deal with that. But the main thing is, Peter, is that we concentrate and do our job and get 2 points tonight.
And bearing in mind what happened last year against your great rivals at Old Trafford, you've been there and lost. Do you want to go back there and win?
Yeah, I mean, last year was a moral victory as well, men doing what they did, so yeah, we do want to go back there and win, and winning, you know, with 13 men and do it the way we want to do it. But the first hurdle for us is a really, really dogged, talented Castleford team, and we need to go out and do a job on them.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
Best of luck. Good spectator.
Oh, not really. Terrible.
A terrible spectator, but hoping to be a really successful coach. We'll soon find out who's going to be lifting that league leaders shield, and probably even equally significantly, who's going to be at home in those semi-finals.
Terrific, Peter. Thanks for that.
Owen Farrell has dismissed the media storm sparked by his selection for tomorrow's World Cup clash with Wales.
Well, the rugby world was genuinely taken by surprise when Stuart Lancaster picked him ahead of George Ford at fly half. But Farrell is paying no attention to any of his doubters.
People can say what they want. You know, it's the people inside the camp that count to me. The people around me. You know, external factors are you know, don't matter to us. We go into the game looking forward to it, and it's obviously a massive challenge, and everybody's excited about it.
What have people in the camp said to you then?
What have they said to me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Congratulations, maybe, for starting?
Yeah, a couple, yeah.
Did George congratulate you?
No, we've just been exactly the same. We've been absolutely normal.
When someone gets picked, does your relationship change at all?
We talk about everything anyway. We'd be exactly the same as we would do as it was last week, as it was in the autumn when he got picked and I went on the bench. It's been exactly the same.
Wales skills coach Neil Jenkins believes England may have favoured Farrell over Ford at fly half because of his superior kicking ability.
Owen's a very good all-round player, very solid in defence, excellent kicking game, very good goal kicker. Very rarely does he miss, so you know, I think that maybe that might have edged it in his favour. But again, I think England are quite lucky at this moment in time to have two quality 10s in their squad. Both very good players, as I said, and you know, I'm sure George is extremely unlucky and unhappy about the decision. But likewise, Owen would have been, I'm sure, if he hadn't been involved.
Bad weather at Suzuka meant that the first day of practice for the Japanese Grand Prix was of little use to the teams. Instead, attention remained focused on events off the track. Mayor McLaren revealed they want to keep Jenson Button.
Well, Natalie, meantime, Bernie Ecclestone has warned Renault that they need to take over Lotus by Monday or risk the deal falling through altogether.
A sodden Suzuka meant track action was less interesting than business off it. Although in Jenson Button's case, are the two entwined? Is a picture emerging of a driver who's lost his enthusiasm for a struggling car.
Oh, he's going to be pottering around.
In a team still fighting to keep him.
We're contracted with him. We want him to stay. We like him very much. But if your driver doesn't really want to be in the seat, then we have to respect that.
The contractual option McLaren hold on Button runs out on Wednesday. An earlier deadline looms for Lotus. Unpaid bills at this circuit left drivers and other staff perched on boxes. With no hospitality, Bernie Ecclestone shouted them lunch in corporate facilities. The team will race, but faces a High Court hearing on Monday to avoid administration. Will Renault come to the rescue? Romain Grosjean is unlikely to hang around to find out. He's Haas-bound, perhaps targeting a future Ferrari drive.
Engineers, mechanics, drivers, Ferrari is the dream team, and you know that color is something special, that red color. So yeah, it will be good in the future.
At the end of practice, Red Bull's aerodynamic excellence had helped Daniel Kvyat top the timesheet from the Mercedes duo, while after Kimi Raikkonen's excursion, Ferrari exercised caution with Sebastian Vettel.
Don't take risks.
So unrepresentative were the conditions. Hamilton had conducted his interviews before the session ended.
Today we're just, practicing starts and getting a couple of laps, but otherwise not really much to learn.
Every Sunday is a new opportunity, but,
it's wrong in this moment to talk about the championship for us.
That may change if we were to take back-to-back polls. Craig Slater, Sky Sports.
Ryan Moore rode his first winner since returning from injury as Time Test won the Shadwell Joel Stakes at Newmarket. The three-time champion jockey only returned to racing yesterday after suffering a neck injury in July.
Custom Cut into the dip leading. Time Test stretching now to get to him as they head to the furlong pole. And Time Test and Ryan Moore has led inside the last 150 yards and begins to go on now. And it's Ryan Moore on Time Test to win. Custom Cut in second place, being a length or so. Decorated Knight in third and 2P fourth.
Shockwaves tonight at FIFA. Swiss prosecutors formally open a criminal investigation into Sepp Blatter. The question tonight is, did he make a disloyal payment to Michel Platini?
Football is such a marvellous game. It's such a release.
What a goal! Simply beautiful!
I don't think you realise how important a football supporter is.
Oh, and they've done it in some style!
And the difference they can make in the Championship, week in, week out.
And that is a thunderbolt!
You never know what's going to happen. Your emotion gets on that, and then woo, I can't describe the buzz.
Another big weekend of Championship football on Sky Sports.
You're watching Sky Sports News HQ, your home of sports news.
I'm definitely not going to chase it. Really not. No way am I chasing that ball.
Oh, I can't help myself!
This programme is brought to you by Vitality Health Insurance.
Big breaking news this evening as Swiss prosecutors formally open a criminal investigation into Sepp Blatter, the head of world football's governing body, FIFA.
Jose Mourinho reignites his long-running feud with Arsene Wenger by claiming his counterpart is the only manager who isn't under pressure in English football.
People in the technical area can cry in the morning, can cry in the afternoon, nothing happens. Can be not achieve, keep the job, still the king. It's a privilege.
Steve McLaren, Dick Advocaat and Brendan Rodgers are all under pressure, but they today insisted there's no panic at their clubs.
Dear fans, I'm sorry to inform you that I have to postpone my fight against Tyson Fury.
Vladimir Klitschko pulls out of next month's world title fight, and Tyson Fury tells us he's not surprised.
I was face to face and I knew he wasn't going to fight. I knew that he would pull out. I can tell you all now, there's no injury.
Good evening. Welcome to News HQ at 6. Dramatic developments surrounding Sepp Blatter in Zurich, Switzerland. We will have the full story for you.
Well, Natalie, interviews with a whole host of managers have been coming in behind me here today, ahead of another fascinating weekend, of course, in the Premier League. Pochettino, Pellegrini and Martinez, just three of the names you will hear from. And we'll also have news from Suzuka, where bad weather ruined both practice sessions. But there was an update on Jenson Button's future today. And we'll have all the action from the final day of the County Championship season, where this wicket led to Sussex being relegated to Division 2.
We start with this evening's incredible developments at the home of world football. FIFA President Sepp Blatter is tonight under criminal investigation by authorities in Switzerland. Blatter's office has been searched and data has been seized as the Swiss Attorney General investigates him for possible criminal mismanagement and misappropriation of FIFA money. Our chief news reporter, Kaveh Solokol, is in Zurich for us. And Kaveh, we have statements from the Swiss Attorney General and now from FIFA. What have they had to say?
Well, two different versions coming from those two different sources. The Swiss authorities telling us that they interrogated Sepp Blatter, that they seized the material from his office, whereas FIFA, the language is much softer in tone, as saying that they conducted interviews at the building behind me, and also that the Swiss authorities just gathered some documents. What is undeniable, though, is that FIFA is in total meltdown this evening. A FIFA insider telling us that is in a state of total confusion. As things stand, Sepp Blatter is still in the building behind me. He is being questioned by Swiss investigators on these allegations of criminal mismanagement of FIFA funds. He's also talking to his own lawyers, also American lawyers who've been here helping run FIFA on a day-to-day basis. And the question everyone is asking, is Sepp Blatter going to be suspended this evening? Bear in mind, last week his right-hand man Jerome Valk was suspended over allegations that he was involved in a ticketing scandal. Now, the Swiss authorities have not launched an investigation into those allegations, yet Valk was forced to stand down. But we have the situation now where formal criminal proceedings have been instigated against the FIFA president, and as things stand, he is still in the building behind us, and he has not resigned and he has not been suspended yet.
Carver, you were told to leave the FIFA headquarters. How unusual is that? And when do you expect to have any kind of representative from FIFA coming out and explaining all of this?
Well, just to give you a brief recap of what happened, we had the two-day executive committee meeting that finished at lunchtime today. We were supposed to have a press conference at 2 o'clock Swiss time. We were told that that was going to be delayed until 3 o'clock, just before that press conference was due to start. All the journalists here, about 100 journalists from all over the world, got a very terse email from FIFA's press office saying that the press conference had been cancelled. We also got emails asking us to leave FIFA property by 5 p.m. Swiss time. Now, normally we get briefings from the FIFA media office. People come down to talk to us to let us know what is happening. But so far today, we have had absolutely no face-to-face briefings from anyone at FIFA. Now, a lot of people would say this is understandable. The FIFA president, Sepp Blatter, a man who's been running FIFA since 1998, is in the building behind me being questioned by Swiss investigators. A lot of incredible things have happened at FIFA over the years. We've seen executives being arrested in dawn FBI raids at hotels, and I think this goes down at yet another incredible chapter in FIFA's history. Sepp Blatter still being questioned by Swiss authorities on these allegations of criminal mismanagement of FIFA funds.
And Carve, Blatter was not the only high-profile football administrator mentioned in the Swiss Attorney General's statement, was he?
Yeah, I mean, just when you thought this story could not get more incredible, if you look at the two allegations that Swiss investigators are looking into, the second one, believe it or not, involves Michel Platini is also involved in it. He is the UEFA president, the man who many people make favourites to take over from Sepp Blatter. And what Swiss authorities are looking into is a payment that went from FIFA to Michel Platini in February 2011. This payment was for about £1.3 million. And we've been told that it was for work that Platini did for FIFA between 1999 and 2002. And he was paid for this work that he did 9 years later, and the payment was £1.3 million. And now the Swiss authorities have said that while Michel Platini was here today, they asked him to provide information. So we have the situation where the man who runs FIFA at the moment is being questioned by Swiss authorities, and also the man who is many people's favourites to take over from Sepp Blatter is also providing information to Swiss authorities in a criminal mismanagement of FIFA funds investigation.
My goodness. OK, Kaveh Solokol for now. Thank you very much. Let's break all this down for you. Blatter is being investigated by the Swiss Attorney General's office over a TV rights deal he signed with former Vice President Jack Warner 10 years ago. We know that Blatter was interrogated at FIFA headquarters today following a meeting of the FIFA Executive Committee. Blatter's office was searched, and we understand that data has been seized. We must say that through the whole FIFA scandal, Blatter has maintained his innocence, and he insists he has done nothing wrong. What about this then? We've heard just there about the UEFA President Michel Platini, a candidate for the FIFA presidency, has been questioned himself about a payment of £1.35 million he received from Blatter in 2011. The Swiss authorities describe it as a disloyal payment, allegedly for work done by Platini between 1999 and 2002. And finally, because of all this happening at FIFA's HQ, the governing body cancelled a news conference despite around 170 media having gathered to question Platini. Blatter even, I should say, and that, of course, was why Kaveh Solokol was there. But Michel Platini has been caught up in the investigation over that alleged disloyal payment, which is described as one that goes against the best interests of the organisation. Before today, the FA backed Platini's candidacy for the FIFA president, but former FA chief executive Mark Palios believes his campaign is now under serious threat.
We've got to understand what the facts of the matter are, but, you know, just at first glance, it looks, the implication for me, and it rather feels like Platini's presidential campaign is held beneath the waterline, just by virtue of the fact that that payment is verified and it is seen to be disloyal. And even if legal, it's seen to be disloyal. I mean, it's against FIFA's interests, and how can somebody stand as president if he has received a payment that is disloyal to FIFA and to the extent and as material as it is? So it's a very difficult position. Of course, as the facts come out and we find out what the situation is, we'll only then will we know. But at this point in time, it feels like Platini's campaign is rocking.
Let's get to Jose Mourinho. He has reignited his long-running feud with Arsene Wenger. In a thinly veiled attack on the Arsenal manager, Mourinho claimed there was only one manager who received special treatment and never comes under any pressure despite achieving nothing.
Only one manager is not under pressure. Every other manager is under pressure. So Steve is under pressure, I am under pressure, Brendan is under pressure, Pellegrino is under pressure, everybody is under pressure. We cannot lose matches, we cannot be below the expectations, we have to reach our objectives. So I have sympathy for all of them, and I believe they have also sympathy to myself, because it's a difficult job. There is one that for some reason is outside that list, but good for him, and of course I have sympathy for Steve.
Who's not on the list?
You know.
I genuinely don't know.
Can speak about the referees before the game, can speak about the referees after the game, can push people in the technical area, can cry in the morning, can cry in the afternoon, nothing happens, can be not achieve, keep the job, still the king. It's a privilege.
You've got to give us a name. You're talking about the Arsenal manager?
No, I said just one out of 20.
No name, but strong stuff. Mourinho didn't want to discuss Diego Costa's 3-match ban for violent conduct. The Chelsea striker was banned retrospectively on video evidence for that clash with Koscielny at Stamford Bridge last week. Arsene Wenger was critical of referee Mike Dean after the game. Mourinho today...
Is it a worry that referees might pay particular attention to him so they don't miss things off the ball? Do you think the referees might be affected?
I don't comment, and I tell you why. Because in the rules book it says that some managers, they can speak about the referee before the game or after the game. Some others, they cannot. And then comes the list, and I am in the list of the ones that are punished if they speak about referees before the game or after the game. So I have to stick with that rule book, and I am in the list of the ones that cannot speak about the referee, which is what I'm doing.
That doesn't exist, that rule book, that list, does it?
No, the rule exists that we're not allowed to talk about officials before a game.
Well, that he's on it and other people aren't?
No, the rule remains that we can't talk about officials before a game.
But
so let's move on to the next question.
You know that some can.
So there's a list of people who can talk about referees, but
An
not
imaginary
you.
list, but clearly.
Have you had the written reasons from the FA yet as to why Diego was banned?
No.
Is it frustrating that you can't react to it because you haven't read them yet and he's already missed one game?
It's clear. You don't need my answer, because you know the answer. The answer is in your question. It's not normal, but nothing more to say.
We kind of need you to say it for the quote, though, because people don't listen to me. Is it a situation with Diego, Jose, where when he comes back, he might have to alter his style of play so that he doesn't get himself into these situations again? And if that was the case, would that lose a little bit in him of why you signed him and what makes him a great player?
I don't answer.
No?
No.
Why?
Because if I answer, I'm going to be suspended. I don't want to touch the theme and everything that surrounds this situation, because I want to be on the bench.
The Arsenal defender Gabriel has been banned for one game after admitting an FA charge of improper conduct for his behaviour after he was sent off against Chelsea last Saturday to a review.
Ideally, you want the right decisions to be taken during the game, because what was decided is, in fact, we should have played 11 against 10, and it was reverse. So we played 10 against 11. So I agree with you. I would, for what happened, of course, and very disappointed. But he's a fighter, and his attitude in training the whole week was completely focused and motivated.
Now next, we'll tell you why Tyson Fury won't be fighting Vladimir Klitschko next month.
Available to buy and keep in Sky Store now.
Everybody's gone out of their mind.
Own it now, before it's in the shops.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Here they come again.
Buy and keep Mad Max Fury Road now. You'll get it straight to your TV, across your devices, and the DVD direct to your home. Mad Max Fury Road. Available to buy and keep now.
Yeah, I could do that with a bit of practice.
Brendan Rodgers accepts that his job as Liverpool manager is under threat, but that fact doesn't scare him.
Well, Liverpool are without a win now in 4 Premier League games and needed a penalty shootout to beat League 2 Carlisle in the League Cup on Wednesday.
I'm never complacent enough to think that it's never been. You know, that's probably what drives a manager on, is that fear, a positive fear, that every day you need to be at your best. And when you come into here, into a club of this stature, then that is always there. So, but it's something that doesn't frighten me. It's something I've got an inherent belief in what I do. You know, I think I've shown in my time here that when I've worked with the players at the level, and I think since I've been here, there's probably been over 10 managers linked with the job over the 3 years I've been here. So, so you take that as part and parcel of the game. Obviously the second point, I have regular contact with the owners, and as I said, the relationship has always been strong. And in all fairness, whatever happens here, whether I'm here for one day more, 1 month, another year, or whatever, I'll always have a huge respect for the owners here and the people that I work closely with here. That I don't worry about myself. Like I said, I hope to be a football manager for another 20 odd years, and I respect that probably that 20 years won't be here at Liverpool.
Well, Newcastle head coach Steve McLaren says the club is going through a period of change and that they need time to turn their fortunes around.
McLaren's side are yet to win in the Premier League this season, with 4 defeats from 6 games, and were knocked out of the League Cup by Championship side Sheffield Wednesday.
We're going through change, and change is painful, and change is tough. It's hard, and some people, they don't like change. It takes them out of the comfort zone. And why is this club wanting change? Because since 22nd of November, a year ago, this club and this team has won 5 games in 32. And on the last day of the season, won a game to stay up. So everybody's been clamouring for change, and that's what we bring. That's why I'm here. And change, as we say, is painful. It's been less than 3 months. We're changing a lot. We're changing philosophy, we're changing culture, we're changing standards, we're changing training, and some people adapt quickly, some don't, but it's necessary change.
Things don't get any easier for McLaren's Newcastle after Chelsea tomorrow. They face a trip to Manchester City before a home game with Norwich and a huge derby match with Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, followed by Stoke at home and Bournemouth away. And you can see Newcastle's next game against Chelsea. It is the Saturday night football live on Sky Sports 1 from 5 o'clock.
Now, what about Sunderland? Their head coach, Dick Advocaat, believes his side are at a disadvantage because they were unable to bring in new players early on in the transfer window.
Sunderland, who are without a win all season, face a trip to Manchester United tomorrow.
I still think, with our experience, that if you bring in new players and we cut them in rather late, that needs time. Needs time to get used to the Premier League. Get used with the players who are normally regulars, they're going out, some players are coming in. That needs time. If force is the right system, and that's what we have to find out rather soon, because you're right, I like to have the points as well.
I suppose is that the point that getting players in early on in the transfer window is important for making that good start?
Yeah, no, that's the advantage the bigger club has, and the bigger club with the money, they know already what they want. Do we want one player, two players? Doesn't matter what it costs, but we work totally differently than the clubs with money.
Well, now action from the Championship, and it comes from Craven Cottage this evening here in West London as Fulham take on their West London neighbours, Queen's Park Rangers. Just 3 miles separate the two clubs. This is a good one this tonight, and there for us is David Craig.
Yes, good evening. Welcome to Craven Cottage. Our live football tonight sees a West London derby, Fulham taking on Queen's Park Rangers. With me tonight's co-commentator Andy Hinchcliffe. Andy, first of all, neither of these two sides currently in the top 6. Is there some similarities to be drawn between the two?
I think there are. There is a great expectation at both clubs, of course. Both are in the Premier League relatively recently, so both are expected to do well. There's an over-reliance on their key men as well, Ross McCormack and Charlie Austin. A lot expected of those two players. Other players need to step up to the plate. And looking at the games that they played, 15 league games these two have played, 1 clean sheet between them, so both need to tighten up defensively.
You mentioned those clean sheets, and Kit Symons has been busy in the transfer market. He's been collecting defenders. Does that tell us where he thinks his problems lie?
Well, if you look at last season, they did concede far too many goals. They probably flirted with relegation. They managed to stay up. They've got Ross McCormack, they've got Dembele, they've got Matt Smith coming back from injury, but they were short of defenders, quality, experienced defenders, so they signed in players to actually do that job in Tim Ream and Richard Stearman. So it makes it sensible, really, from Kit Symons just to strengthen up the defence.
And that defence is going to get tested fully tonight because the Championship's top scorer is up against them. Charlie Austin, no surprise. Has he proved some of his doubters wrong from the summer?
Well, there were some critics, but Charlie's got on with the job of what he does so well, and that's scoring goals. QPR delighted to have him. Questions about his fitness. He's looked very fit to me, very sharp in front of goal. And there'll be a few managers, a few clubs thinking maybe they should have spent an extra few bob to actually get him to their clubs.
And as I said, it's a West London derby tonight, a fantastic night. We can expect a big atmosphere inside Craven Cottage, can't we?
Absolutely, it's a great ground, really traditional old ground, fantastically packed to the rafters. I've played in many derby games, under the lights, on TV. The players will be really looking forward to this.
Andy, thank you very much. There we are, the thoughts of tonight's co-commentator Andy Hinchcliffe. For all the build-up action and reaction to this West London derby between Fulham and Queen's Park Rangers, join Simon Thomas with guest Ian Holloway and the former Fulham player Lee Clark at 7 p.m. on Sky Sports 1.
Well, David, looking forward to that live action this evening then, and there are 9 games in the Championship tomorrow, and you can see all the goals from those matches on Goals Express at 6 o'clock right here on Sky Sports News HQ. And we'll show you every single goal from the Football League on Today's Goals Now. That's from 8 o'clock tomorrow night, also on Sky Sports News HQ.
Next, why England's Owen Farrell is out to prove his doubters wrong.
Cast down with the devil don't go, I make my home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Hull.
the teenage sensation, all right, Charlie Hull.
Enjoy another great weekend of Premier League football.
What a turn-up! That is extraordinary.
Live, only on Sky Sports.
Ooh, are we waiting for tummy tickles?
Big breaking news this evening as Swiss prosecutors formally open a criminal investigation into Sepp Blatter, the head of world football's governing body, FIFA.
Jose Mourinho reignites his long-running feud with Arsene Wenger by claiming his counterpart is the only manager who isn't under pressure in English football.
Charge of improper conduct.
Steve McLaren, Dick Advocaat, Brendan Rodgers are certainly under pressure, but they've today insisted there's no panic at any of their clubs.
And Vladimir Klitschko pulls out of next month's world title fight, and Tyson Fury tells us he's not surprised.
Now, if you've just come in this Friday evening, big developments today in Switzerland. Incredible developments at the home of world football, in fact. FIFA President Sepp Blatter is tonight under criminal investigation by the authorities in Switzerland. Blatter's office has been searched, data has been seized as the Swiss Attorney General investigates him for possible criminal mismanagement and misappropriation of FIFA money. And we can bring you more on this right now. Let's head back to Switzerland. In Zurich for us is our chief news reporter, Kavi Solikol. And Kavi, as I understand it, back here in London, news of a development.
Yes, the development is that Sepp Blatter, for the time being, is going to remain as FIFA president. The information we have is that he is not going to be suspended yet, although this is something that FIFA are going to look into in a week's time, in 7 days' time. Now, we have, therefore, the incredible situation whereby the FIFA president is going to be the president while he is being investigated by the Swiss authorities in a case which involves misusing FIFA funds, a criminal investigation into the misuse of FIFA funds. Now, it also is strange because just last week, Sepp Blatter's right-hand man, Jerome Valk, was suspended when he was, there are allegations that he was involved in a ticketing scandal. Now, those allegations have not formally been investigated by the Swiss authorities, yet Jerome Valcke was forced to stand down and he was suspended. Now we have a situation where the president, the most powerful man in world football, is being investigated formally by the Swiss authorities, yet it seems from the information we are getting from FIFA that he's going to remain as FIFA president for the time being. Now, of course, he was planning on standing down in February. In any case, in February, everybody thought that the hot favourite to succeed him was Michel Platini. But of course, we found out today that the UEFA president himself has also been questioned by Swiss authorities about this payment of about £1.3 million, which went from him, from FIFA, to Michel Platini for work that he carried out for FIFA between 1999 and 2002. Yet this payment was only made 9 years later. So the big question that everyone is asking, while Sepp Blatter is still in the building behind me, still trying to work out what his next move is going to be, what FIFA are going to do, whether he can carry on. The feeling developing here tonight is that he is going to carry on for at least another week, and that the FIFA authorities are going to look at this again next week.
Kavi, big developments. Thanks very much indeed for the moment.
OK, big news in the boxing world tonight. Vladimir Klitschko has pulled out of next month's heavyweight world title fights with Tyson Fury. The Ukrainian world champion tore a tendon in his left calf during a training session in Germany yesterday, just a day after that very entertaining news conference with Fury in London. Klitschko is being treated for the injury in Munich, and his doctors are confident the fight can still take place this year.
Dear fans, I'm sorry to inform you that I have to postpone my fight against Tyson Fury due to a minor injury. I'm working hard on the rescheduling of the fight, and as soon as I know, I will keep you posted about the new date.
Well, this was Fury watching that video at home this afternoon. He's not so confident the fight will happen, having experienced the same thing with a world title fight against David Haye 2 years ago. Fury claims that Klitschko has made up the injury and told us that he knew Klitschko would pull out as soon as the pair squared up in London on Wednesday.
I was face to face and I knew he wasn't going to fight. I knew that he would pull out. Behind the gloves that's been recorded, Johnny Nelson was there for a witness. I said to him, I'm going to have to back off you now because I can see that you're going to pull out of this fight. I don't know what I saw in him, but I saw the same thing in him as I did David Haye, and I knew that he wasn't going to fight. We even talked about it yesterday. Yesterday, before we left here, me, Peter and my dad had a conversation. He's going to pull out. And Peter phoned me this morning, he went, he's pulled out. I went, yeah. Do you know the conversation we had yesterday evening? I went, yeah. He went, no, really, he's pulled out.
The good news is it's only a month. That's not going to affect you too much in terms of your preparation, is it?
Not really, because he's getting older and I'm just staying the same, really. It is what it is. But I do remember the same thing happened last time with the Haye scenario. That was only rescheduled a month, was it not? Or was it 8 weeks that was rescheduled for? And then what happened? Nothing happened. So, you know, you've got to wonder what's going through their minds. Am I that intimidating?
Call me a clown again! Call me a clown! No. Fool!
Am I that scary?
There's no other heavyweights apart from me. There only ever has been me.
Batman worked a treat then, didn't it? And cost me a big fight again. But, you know, it is one of those things. Klitschko, let's hope he reschedules. Let's hope he wants to do this fight again. He can't go anywhere else. The only option is to retire. I'd rather not even be given the titles than to not fight the best man for them. You know, I don't want no birthday presents. It is what it is. Just let's dance. Whatever Klitschko's reasons are, I can tell you all now, there's no injury. He either needs more time to prepare, more time to get his mindset straight, or more time to talk about stuff or go over what he's going to do. There's definitely not an injury. I'd have everything I've got. There's no injury. Definitely not. How does he injure himself on a private jet going home? Doesn't happen. He done the same injury for Derek Chisora twice. The fight didn't happen. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go no further and say no more about it.
But you will. Now, we heard Fury there say that he knew Klitschko would pull out when he sat opposite him in the Sky Sports the Gloves Are Off studio. We can now show you the part where the fighters discuss David Haye. Have a look.
He fought you, didn't he? He fought you and tortured you, yeah? He wouldn't even fight me twice. He was getting a lot of money.
I don't know what it was going on.
Excuse me,
but
I'm talking. He was offered a lot of money, yeah, to fight. Biggest fight in this country. Probably a bigger fight than you, actually. But still, he wouldn't fight because he saw something that he didn't like. And the same thing he saw, you're seeing. Let's hope you don't pull out. Because I think you and David Haye have the same mentality inside. Pretty similar, actually. When I'm looking at you, the more I talk to you, the more I talk to you on a level.
Person inside.
Yeah, I think you and him are pretty similar. And I think that you could pull an injury at any time. Maybe in training, maybe on the bus on the way to the fight. Just turn up to the fight. That's all I'm asking you. Turn up and fight. That's all I want you to do. I've got to ease off of you now, because I remember when I put it on David Haye strong, and I come on all the heavy talking and serious, he pulled out twice. So are you going to do the same thing? So I better back off of Vladimir Klitschko before he gets the jitters and he doesn't turn up like his comrade David Haye, his greatest victory, the man who never had the stones to fight the Furious One twice, the man who had to retire from boxing before facing me.
You know, you don't know what to believe, Natalie, do you? I stood right there with Klitschko the other day on Sky Sports News HQ, and Klitschko whispered to me he needs therapy. So, I don't know. We will wait and this will go on and on, but the two will get meeting each other.
If he doesn't get his big shot, he can certainly go into fortune-telling.
He can indeed. What a man, Tyson Fury. We're enjoying you very much indeed.
Yeah, very much so. James Wilson has signed a new contract at Manchester United, which keeps him at the club until June 2019 with the option of a year extension. Wilson.
I think he needs to play. But Manchester United interest is always higher than the individual interest. So I have doubts. I have said that already 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago to let him go. And maybe we have to wait till December that we know how it is with our club Are we succeeding in the Champions League? Are we succeeding in the Capital One Cup? Because maybe he shall receive minutes of me because I have to rotate. You have seen it, what I have done against Ipswich Town. It can be done also in the other matches. So I have talked with him, and I think that we wait till December.
Manuel Pellegrini's revealed that City only had 11 fit players for the League Cup tie against Sunderland this week, and that David Silva and Ilaikun Mangala are still unavailable this weekend. But Vincent Kompany returns for the game against Tottenham.
That's why I always say that's so important to have an important squad, because you are going to win or you're going to lose the title just for 1 point, 2 points. Normally it's not more different. And in the case that you have these problems, you must have a strong squad.
So Kompany back this weekend?
Kompany is back. It's important for the team. I think that Vincent he's just recovering from his injury. He's the captain, and he started the season very well, not only as a defender, he scored 3 important goals also.
The Watford head coach, Quique Sanchez-Flores, has confirmed the club won't be letting Emmanuel Adebayor train with them. The striker was released from his Tottenham contract earlier this month, but can't sign for another club until January.
We admire Adebayor. We know that this is an amazing player, but we have, till 2 weeks ago, we have difficulties to close the squad. Now, at the moment, don't move anything. We respect too much Adebayor. We deserve all the best for the future. You never know what happens in football in the future. Maybe you have the possibility someday to train together. But at this moment, Watford consider that it's not the moment to put new players in the squad.
Delight for Hampshire as they remain in Division 1, and will bring you action from what's been a dramatic day from the County Championship.
I've got the blues, and I'm going to sing about it. Join me as I unravel the fascinating story.
The world changed. Everything was totally different.
Behind the British blues scene.
You can sing what you want to sing.
Because that's the way I feel.
The poetry of the blues is never to be underestimated.
And fulfill a lifelong dream of putting on my own blues night. Brand new and exclusive, Lenny Henry's Got the Blues.
Hey, you're smooth. You're smooth.
Tonight at 10 on Sky Arts. And if you missed the start of my new series, episode 1 is available now on Catch Up TV.
Yes, I remember when I first learnt to walk. Not easy, is it?
Now then, as we told you earlier, Wigan Warriors, one of 3 teams who could claim the League Leaders' Shield tonight. They play Castleford. It's at the DW Stadium. Let's get more on it. Peter Stevenson is there for us as kick-off approaches. Peter.
Yeah, atmosphere building up nicely. It's being helped by the fact that in the Academy Grand Final, it's 22-10 at the moment to Wigan against their great rivals, St Helens. So the future's looking pretty good. What about the present with this big game here tonight and the hopes of a semi-final appearance? Chris Rodlinski, Wigan General Manager. From a club perspective, how important is it that Wigan get a home draw, first of all, and hopefully get a Grand Final appearance?
Well, we've been really good at home this year. I think the noise that the stadium generates, I think we've not lost here for like 23 months or something like that. So it'd be great to get here and get the home fans behind us. But at this stage of the competition, you know, a semi-final spot and a place at Old Trafford up for grabs, we'll take anything, I think.
I'm old enough to remember you as a player. Talk me through the players' mentality on the eve of a big game like this.
Yeah, well, I've just had a walk around the changing rooms there. It's you know, you could tell it's a big game tonight. There's a nervous tension in the air. Look, the lads are very quiet, just getting on with the jobs. But they've had a really good week's build-up with the end of the competition, like it is, with 3 or 4 teams still potentially winning the Shield. It's made sure that everybody's focused. So it's just a great atmosphere around. You could tell that something's going to happen tonight.
So near yet so far to a grand final. Will that be playing on their minds?
Absolutely. There's a whole season's work on the line. So if we get through tonight, we've got a semi-final. If we don't win that, the season's over. 12 months of hard work is gone. So the this is why you play sport, to win on these big occasions and to play in these big games. So, you know, we've got to get excited by that.
If memory serves me right, you've won a grand final and also lost, so you know the experience on both sides. Just what's it like to get there?
Yeah, well, like I said, you've worked all year with your mates. It means a lot to the spectators, and there's no worse place than losing on a grand final. You need to be on that winning side. So, you know, I've had some great memories, but now I'm kind of living my life through these players and through these young boys here who are going to go on to have magnificent careers.
We'll see what happens. Good spectator?
Oh, terrible spectator, terrible.
Everybody's a bad spectator. All former players hate watching. They'd love to be out there tonight. It should be a terrific evening of Super League action, and it all kicks off at 8 o'clock.
Peter, thank you very much.
Busy night of sport ahead across our Sky Sports channels. On Sky Sports 2, we will have that live Super League action with Huddersfield taking on the Leeds Rhinos at the John Smith Stadium in the Super 8. Remember, both teams can still finish top of the table heading into the final round. Coverage for that starts at 7:30. On Sky Sports 4, there is live golf. It's day 2 of the Tour Championship, the final event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. And on Sky Sports 1, we're going to have live football from the Championship. It's 16th place to Fulham, who host 9th QPR. A win for the away side will lift them into the playoffs. A West London derby. Coverage gets underway for that at 7, so shortly.
Now then, Owen Farrell has dismissed the media storm sparked by his selection for tomorrow's World Cup clash with the Welsh. The rugby world was taken somewhat by surprise when Stuart Lancaster picked him ahead of George Ford at fly half, but Farrell is paying no attention to any doubters.
People can say what they want. You know, it's the people inside the camp that count to me. The people around me. You know, external factors you know, don't matter to us. We go into the game looking forward to it, and it's obviously a massive challenge, and everybody's excited about it.
What have people in the camp said to you then?
What have they said to me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Congratulations, maybe, for starting?
Yeah, a couple, yeah.
Did George congratulate you?
No, we've just been exactly the same. We've been absolutely normal.
When someone gets picked, does your relationship change at all?
We talk about everything anyway. We'd be exactly the same as we would do. As it was last week, as it was in the autumn when he got picked and I went on the bench. It's been exactly the same.
Well, meantime, in Pool C, Argentina claimed their first win of the World Cup. My goodness, didn't they just? They beat Georgia 54 points to 9.
Bad weather at Suzuka meant that the first air practice for the Japanese Grand Prix was of little use to the teams.
Well, instead, attention remained focused on events off the track, where McLaren revealed that they want to keep Jenson Button, and Bernie Ecclestone has warned Renault that they need to take over Lotus by Monday or risk this deal falling through.
A sodden Suzuka meant track action was less interesting than business off it, although in Jenson Button's case, are the two entwined. Is a picture emerging of a driver who's lost his enthusiasm for a struggling car.
Oh, he's going to be pottering around.
In a team still fighting to keep him.
We're contracted with him. We want him to stay. We like him very much. But if your driver doesn't really want to be in the seat, then we have to respect that.
The contractual option McLaren hold on Button runs out on Wednesday. An earlier deadline looms for Lotus. Unpaid bills at this circuit left drivers and other staff perched on boxes. With no hospitality, Bernie Ecclestone shouted them lunch in corporate facilities. The team will race, but faces a High Court hearing on Monday to avoid administration. Will Renault come to the rescue? Romain Grosjean is unlikely to hang around to find out. He's Haas-bound, perhaps targeting a future Ferrari drive.
Engineers, mechanics, drivers, Ferrari is the dream team, and you know that color is something special, that red color. So yeah, it would be good in the future.
At the end of practice, Red Bull's aerodynamic excellence had helped Daniel Kvyat top the timesheet from the Mercedes duo, while after Kimi Raikkonen's excursion, Ferrari exercised caution with Sebastian Vettel.
Don't take risks.
So unrepresentative were the conditions. Hamilton had conducted his interviews before the session ended.
Today we just,
practicing starts and getting a couple of laps, but otherwise not really much to learn.
Every Sunday is a new opportunity, but you know, it's wrong in this moment to talk about the championship for us.
That may change if we were to take back-to-back poles. Craig Slater, Sky Sports.
It's been a dramatic final day of the season as Hampshire have retained their place in Division 1 thanks to an 8-wicket win over Nottinghamshire, while it's Sussex who have been relegated after losing to the county champions Yorkshire. Sussex began the final round of games 16 points ahead of Hampshire and only needed a draw to stay in the top division, but they were bowled out for 208 inside 58 overs on the final day at Headingley. Sussex needed 309 for victory, but their run chase got off to a bad start when Jack Brooks dismissed Ed Joyce for 1. The England all-rounder Chris Jordan opened the batting with Joyce and made 20 before Brooks took his second wicket to leave Sussex on 36 for 2. When Tim Bresnan dismissed Luke Wright, Sussex were in deep trouble at 61 for 5. Michael Yardy and Ben Brown put on 81 for the 6th wicket before Yardy was out for 41, again off the bowling of Bresnan. Opening batsman Adam Lyth missed out on selection for England's Test tour to the UAE, but it was actually his bowling that was impressive today as he took the wicket of Asher Zaidi. And Adil Rashid took the final wicket of Chris Liddle to condemn Sussex to relegation to Division 2. That's because Hampshire had already beaten Nottinghamshire by 8 wickets at Trent Bridge. Chasing just 200 to win, Hampshire began the day 89 without loss, and half-centuries from Michael Carberry and Jimmy Adams saw them home.
Now then, Motherwell captain Keith Lasley says the players at Fir Park accept the criticism from their owner following his decision to sack the manager, Ian Barraclough. Les Hutchison claimed the squad should hang their heads in shame after winning just twice this season and going out of the League Cup to lower league opponents.
Yeah, it's been disappointing. There's no doubt about that. I think it was, you know, obviously we hoped we could use at the end of last year as a little bit of a springboard into this year. We did go and win our first game, but then after that, you know, it has been disappointing. There's no getting away from that. Look, as in football, there's a lot of different factors to take into consideration. You know, the one big thing is that just the results just haven't quite been there. As I said, the players ourselves, myself as a captain, have got to stand up and take responsibility. And you know, it's gone now. You know, it's sad. It was a sad day for everyone here, but we just need to look forward to this game out here tomorrow and get a result. As I said, start to turn things round.
Ryan Moore rode his first winner since returning from injury as Time Test won the Shadwell Joel Stakes at Newmarket. The 3-time champion jockey only returned to racing yesterday after suffering a neck injury in July.
Custom Cut into the dip leading. Time Test stretching now to get to him as they head to the furlong pole. And Time Test and Ryan Moore has led inside the last 150 yards and begins to go on now. And it's Ryan Moore on Time Test to win. Custom Cut in second place, being a length or so. Decorated Knight in third and 2P fourth.
Well, it has been a dramatic day, to say the least of it, in Switzerland regarding FIFA, because Swiss prosecutors formally opened a criminal investigation into Sepp Blatter. We believe here that he will not be suspended unless he's charged or further evidence emerges.
But we start with this evening's incredible developments at the home of world football. FIFA President Sepp Blatter is tonight under criminal investigation by authorities in Switzerland. Blatter's office has been searched and data seized as the Swiss Attorney General investigates him for possible criminal mismanagement or misappropriation of FIFA money.
But despite all this, our sources are telling us this evening that Blatter will not be suspended unless he's charged or further evidence emerges. Our chief news reporter, Kaveh Solipel, is in Zurich. Kaveh, bring us up to speed with the latest developments. We understand Blatter is not going to be suspended tonight.
Yes, I mean, the latest information we have is that he has not yet been suspended and he hasn't resigned either. If he was to be suspended or if he'd resigned, we would have received notification of that from FIFA, but no notification has been forthcoming. Some sources inside FIFA are telling us that Sepp Blatter wants to stay on for the time being. He feels that he needs to stay on till this Congress in February when his successor will be elected. But other sources also inside FIFA telling us that it would be extremely difficult for him to continue as the FIFA president while he is the subject of a criminal investigation by the Swiss authorities. If he stays at FIFA president, he would be in charge of the day-to-day running of FIFA. I was told that he would be the man ultimately who would be signing contracts and signing checks. And would it really be possible for him to do this while he is being investigated by FIFA? Also, interestingly, the American lawyers who have been appointed by FIFA to advise them in relation to the American investigation into allegations of football corruption are heavily involved into the day-to-day running of FIFA as well, and they will have a big say on whether Sepp Blatter stays or goes. My own feeling, for what it's worth, is in the long term, not the long term would be until next February, it will be very difficult to see how Sepp Blatter can cling on while he is being investigated by the Swiss authorities. And remember, we had these absolutely incredible scenes here today when at the end of a FIFA Exco meeting we were supposed to have a news conference where we could ask Sepp Blatter questions, and that news conference was cancelled at the last minute because Swiss investigators had turned up here to, in their words, interrogate the FIFA president, to search his office, to seize material from his office. Really, is this a man who can carry on running world football on a day-to-day basis?
And Kaveh, what of Michel Platini? He's favourite to replace Blatter, but he's been caught up in all this as well.
Yes, of course, another incredible development today was the Swiss authorities telling us that one of the two central investigations, the things that they're looking into, the second one is a payment of about £1.3 million to Michel Platini in 2009, when he was the UEFA president. Of course, he still is the UEFA president. He is the favourite to succeed Sepp Blatter, or should I say he was the favourite to succeed Sepp Blatter. The Swiss authorities telling us today that he is someone who they have asked to provide information about this payment of £1.3 million that he got in 2009 for work that he did about 9 years earlier, between 1999 and 2002. So it leaves us in a situation where today FIFA is almost in complete meltdown and in a state of almost total chaos. We do not know whether Sepp Blatter is going to stay or go, although the latest information we have is that he wants to stay. And of course, there are huge question marks over whether Michel Platini, the favourite, is now ever going to get a chance to be the FIFA president. And you have to think, after today's events, the person who's probably happiest with what's happened today is Prince Ali, the man who stood against Sepp Blatter in the last presidential election, and of course the man who says that he's going to stand again in February.
Kaveh, thank you very much. So to sum up, we know now Blatter interrogated at FIFA headquarters today following a meeting of the FIFA Executive Committee. Blatter's office was searched and data has been seized. With all this happening at FIFA's HQ, the governing body cancelled a news conference as around 170 media gathered to question Blatter. Blatter is being investigated by the Swiss Attorney General's office over a TV rights deal he signed with former Vice President Jack Warner 10 years ago. And Blatter and UEFA President Michel Platini, a candidate for the FIFA presidency, were questioned over a payment of £1.35 million Platini received from the FIFA president in 2011. The Swiss authorities describe it as a disloyal payment, allegedly for work done by Platini between 1999 and 2002. Throughout the whole FIFA scandal, Blatter has maintained his innocence and insisted he's done nothing wrong. And despite the escalating crisis at the top of world football's governing body, we understand Blatter will not be suspended by FIFA in the short term unless he's charged or any more allegations are investigated by prosecutors.
So as Claire explained there, Michel Platini has been caught up in the investigation over an alleged disloyal payment, and that's described as one that goes against the best interests of the organisation. Well, before today, the FA backed Platini's candidacy for FIFA president, but former FA Chief Executive Mark Palios believes his campaign is now under serious threat.
We've got to understand what the facts of the matter are, but, you know, just at first glance, it looks, the implication for me, and it rather feels like Platini's presidential campaign is held beneath the waterline, just by virtue of the fact that that payment is verified and it is seen to be disloyal. And even if legal, it's seen to be disloyal. I mean, it's against FIFA's interests, and how can somebody stand as president if he has received a payment that is disloyal to FIFA and to the extent and as material as it is? So it's a very difficult position. Of course, as the facts come out and we find out what the situation is, we'll only then will we know. But at this point in time, it feels like Platini's campaign is rocking.
Now to today's revealing press conference with Jose Mourinho. The Chelsea manager has again appeared to take a swipe at Arsene Wenger, saying the Arsenal manager is the only boss in the Premier League who doesn't have to worry about pressure. But Mourinho wouldn't discuss Diego Costa's 3-match ban for violent conduct.
Have you had the written reasons from the FA yet as to why Diego was banned? Is it frustrating that you can't react to it because you haven't read them yet, and he's already missed one game? And he might now miss another before you even see the written reasons. Is that maybe a flaw in the system?
I think your question is clear. You don't need my answer, because you know the answer. The answer is in your question. It's not normal, but nothing more to say.
We kind of need you to say it for the quote, though, because people don't listen to me. Is it a situation with Diego, Jose, where when he comes back, he might have to the case? Would that lose a little bit in him of why you signed him and what makes him a great player?
Don't answer.
No? Why?
Because if I answer, I'm going to be suspended. I don't want to touch the theme and everything that surrounds this situation, because I want to be on the bench.
Is it a worry that referees might pay particular attention to him so they don't miss things off the ball? Do you think the referees might be affected?
I don't comment, and I tell you why. Because in the rules book it says that some managers, they can speak about the referee before the game or after the game. Some others, they cannot. And then comes the list, and I am in the list of the ones that are punished if they speak about referees before the game or after the game. So I have to stick with that rule book, and I am in the list of the ones that cannot speak about the referee, which is what I'm doing.
That doesn't exist, that rule book, that list, does it?
No, the rule exists that we're not allowed to talk about officials before a game.
Well, that he's on it and other people aren't?
No, the rule remains that we can't talk about officials before a game.
But
so let's move on to the next question.
You know that some can.
So there's a list of people who can talk about referees, but
An
not
imaginary
you.
list, but clearly.
And can I ask you about your opposition manager then this weekend, who's already under intense pressure? Do you have a bit of sympathy for the scrutiny that he's currently under?
I think in this country, only one manager is not under pressure. Every other manager is under pressure. So Steve is under pressure, I am under pressure, Brendan is under pressure, Pellegrino is under pressure, everybody is under pressure. We cannot lose matches, we cannot be below the expectations, we have to reach our objectives. So I have sympathy for all of them, and I believe they have also sympathy to myself, because it's a difficult job. There is one that for some reason is outside that list, but good for him, and of course I have sympathy for Steve.
Who's not on the list?
You know.
I genuinely don't know.
Can speak about the referees before the game, can speak about the referees after the game, can push people in the technical area, can cry in the morning, can cry in the afternoon, nothing happens. Can be not achieve, keep the job, still the king. It's a privilege.
You've got to give us a name. You're talking about the Arsenal manager, Jose?
No, I say just one out of 20.
Okay, let's just bring you a few developments regarding the FIFA story, which broke earlier on this evening. We've talked about Sepp Blatter and the fact that he's allegedly made a payment and was questioned over a payment of £1.35 million, which was made to UEFA President Michel Platini, a candidate, of course, for the FIFA presidency. Platini received this from Blatter in 2011. Well, Platini has put out a statement this evening and explained exactly what it's all about.
Yes, he says in this statement, regarding the payment that was made to me, I wish to state this amount relates to work which I carried out under a contract with FIFA, and I was pleased to have been able to clarify all matters relating to this with the authorities. He added, I have always been open to supporting the relevant bodies and authorities in their investigative work and therefore cooperated fully.
There we go. So that's from Michel Platini. This story moving at a pace this evening. Any more developments, of course, we'll bring them to you. Now, though, back to the Premier League and to Arsenal. Their defender, Gabriel, will serve a one-match suspension after admitting an FA charge of improper conduct for his behaviour after being sent off against Chelsea on Saturday.
Now to the Championship, and there's a West London derby live on Sky Sports tonight. QPR could move up to third if they win at Fulham. The QPR players have made the short journey to Craven Cottage, but they're without a win in their last three, while Fulham have just 2 wins all season.
So let's take you to the team news for this game, and this is the Fulham side that will play QPR, and the one change it was expected, Jazz Richards is out, and so Ryan Fredericks comes in at right back for him, and that's the only change from the league defeat to Sheffield Wednesday last time out. As for QPR, have a look at their team, and quite simply, it is unchanged. They haven't won yet this month, drawn their last 2 games, but this is the side. No changes made by Chris Ramsey, who, of course, has Charlie Austin, the top scorer in the division, up front. So that game is live on Sky Sports 1 from Craven Cottage, and, of course, we'll keep you updated here.
Now, it's a huge night of Super League as well, as 3 teams can still claim the league leaders' shield. Second-placed Wigan face Castleford, and current leaders Leeds go to the John Smith Stadium to play Huddersfield, who can also still win the trophy. Let's get more now from Phil Clark.
Yes, thanks. Welcome to Act 2, Scene 2 of the Super League Showdown here in Huddersfield tonight, where the Giants take on the Leeds Warriors, with both sides hoping to end the evening as the league leaders. For that to happen, Wigan would need to lose over at the DW Stadium against the Castleford Tigers. It's a fantastic culmination in what's been probably the best season of rugby league for the last 20 years. Terry, it's a great game tonight. The Huddersfield Giants going into this game high on confidence. Is it enough to beat the Leeds Rhinos?
I tipped them. I think that they'll go on and beat them. No one's been taking a notice, Huddersfield. Everyone's been talking about Saints, everyone's been talking about Wigan, everyone's been talking about Leeds. Last week when Leeds played, I think that they were took apart in the middle. Huddersfield will target them there. I thought that when I watched Huddersfield play over recent weeks, everyone's talked about the last 5 where they haven't lost the game. You look back at the last 19 games that they've played, they've only lost on 3 occasions, Phil. They've got great form, they've got players that are playing in bang-on form. You're playing against a Leeds side that, yeah, the pride's dented. They know that they need to turn up. They know that they need to perform. You've got Kevin Sinfield retiring, JP retiring. They want to get to Old Trafford and finish with that silverware. But I just think it's going to be all about Huddersfield this evening. I think that the way that they are and the way that Paul Anderson's been talking about the press and no one giving them any recognition, I think that's what's just got them going.
Well, last week the Castleford Tigers defeated Leeds. It was a brilliant performance from Darryl Powell's team. Will they be good enough to go over to the DW Stadium and beat Wigan tonight?
No, I'm going with Wigan. Wigan in that game, I just think that Wigan have got determination. Phil, you know about what Wigan's all about. You got your Wigan underpants on today. I look at what Wigan are all about. Sean Wayne talks about aggression. He's not going to slip up. They slipped up last week when they played against Saints. The Shield was there. They win that game. They pick up the Shield. I think Wigan will win. Wigan will win convincingly as well.
Well, you can see this game here tonight on Sky Sports 2 from 7:30, and the game from Wigan on Sky Sports Extra as well.
A little bit too much information at one point there, but anyway, moving on. Sky Sports 4.
Are you not wearing your Wigan underpants?
Always, Claire, always. This is the latest then from the final event on the PGA Tour, the FedEx Cup playoff. Who is going to win this event? And one of 5 players could win the $10 million bonus if they win it. And one of those players is Henrik Stenson, who is still leading the way. 7 under par as he was at the start of the day. Hasn't won a title this year, but he could win the big one. Paul Casey, just 1 shot off. He's picked up another shot on his first hole, so he's just 1 off Stenson now and Rory McIlroy still on 4 under par, level for the day through 2. Just a couple of other players to pick out for you. Jordan Spieth, level, so he's still 2 under par. Ricky Fowler's picked up a shot to move to 2 under par as well, and Bubba Watson is 1 under for the tournament. So all within a few shots of the front runners, and you can see it live on Sky Sports 4. All the players are now out on the course, and this is Jordan Spieth, and a birdie putt for him out the 4th.
We'll have action from the final day of the County Championship season, where this wicket led to Sussex being relegated to Division 2.